Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Sultans of Shadilay podcast. I am joined by Second Plague. The others are
Crikey.
being gay and haven't switched to the right channel yet, so they'll be with us soon. Good evening, folks. Student of History, Robert Longshot. Good to see you. Primed. Hello, hello. Thanks for your shout out on, what was it, the Imperial Salt Mine or whatever it was. The Incredible Salt Mine from last time. That was awesome. So, of course I've been a boomer. Let me get my browser up, guys.
Ah, yes, you have absorbed the essence of Carl.
Yes, but our stream's working, so we're doing well there. Oakley dokley. So, TERFs. Who would have thought I was going to be in favour of feminists? Who would have thought that feminists would actually be on the wrong side of it, on the right side of history, rather?
That actually would have been my first guess out of all the identity politics groups, but that's not saying too much. Because, I mean, I feel like women out of all the groups are the least taken in by identity politics because you know, if they're heterosexual, they have to, get with a man at some point. If their dad didn't run out on them, they have a dad, maybe they have a brother. Whereas with racial groups or, you know, sexual minorities, there's usually not as much of that. And then on top of which, women are kind of, I mean, beneath dark-skinned people, Muslims, trannies, gays. They're beneath all these groups. So if one of them was to get like yeeted, it would be the women.
Yeah, because God forbid women not want penises in women's spaces. I've got a very good meme for that, either in memes from last week, but sadly that's not YouTube appropriate. Because apparently apparently we can't just say, oh, no men past this point. No, we've got to specifically say no penises past this point. And even that's probably transphobic. Yeah, women and children first, right? Used to be, now it's women first, children last.
So what is going on here? Lib Dem trans activist sounded abuse victim.
Yeah, so apparently some poor woman was abused by a man, fled an abusive partner, and has now been accused of dangerous transphobia by men for saying that maybe men shouldn't be in women's domestic violence shelters. I mean, radical fucking thought. So, what I didn't see when I was watching The Lotus Eaters, and let's see if I can zoom in a smidgen so everyone can see this. These are the totally degenerate threesome that are responsible for the abuse. I see manlet, ugly as shit woman.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now, apparently
the one on the dyed hair and everything.
Yeah, like the caption says that the person on the left used to be a man. Yeah, I'm thinking that the one in the middle is still a man. Like,
yeah, I honestly I cannot. I don't know what to make with. Oh my god, you weren't joking about it being a threesome.
Oh yeah, no. The two on the right are married, and then the other one is just there being all sorts of disgusting. Like, I think I'd rather fuck a real man than any of these alleged women. Yeah,
Probably be less confusing.
sadly, that's probably true. Like, what is wrong with these people? Other than assorted mental illness.
Wait, so are they all sleeping together? Like,
Uh, that would be my guess.
No, they're lesbians. They're not having sex at all.
Oh, right. No, they're lesbians, so they're just beating the shit out of each other.
Oh no, the lesbians are middle-aged lesbians, so they don't have sex at all.
Yeah, but
This is a really common problem for lesbians. Is they get a bit older and they just lose all their sex drive because they're women.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a before and after picture. Like if you stuck the second one in a microwave, you would get the third one.
Yeah.
Like, the one in the middle looks like a man that's got tit implants. So it's like you got the one on the... You take the one on the left, you give it tits and long red hair, then you stick it in a microwave for a couple of hours, and you get the one on the right.
Yeah.
The real question is, who in this relationship is performing the domestic abuse? Because two of them are lesbians and one of them's got toxic masculinity. So, which is the perpetrator of the domestic abuse?
I'm going to guess that it is the mentally ill one. Oh, shit, that doesn't narrow it down.
Well, yeah, it's all of them.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, it's probably the one in the middle.
Yeah.
The only real woman.
So the one on the right, then.
No, he's on the left, isn't he?
Well,
He's the only real woman there.
true.
Right.
If you follow the trans activism,
I mean, you're more of a woman if you've decided to be one. If you're just if you're just a woman, you haven't like bought into it, have you? You know, you're actually very lazy in your womanliness. He's actively chosen to become a woman.
What is the
So he's
word?
a better woman.
AFAB or something?
Well, he's the female equivalent of super straight, I guess. So like super yeah, call it superwoman. Fine. Better than a normal woman.
so they think. But I'm convinced that there's at least two men in that picture.
Welcome, my flappy-headed friend.
If all
How's it
three
going?
of them were actually dudes, and they've all...
Well, the one on the right
Actually,
does look like they were born a woman. Just a really fucking ugly one. But then, that does explain the lesbian part. Can only get together with mentally ill women. Or men that think they're women.
All right, so what happened here?
Oh, God knows.
Just while we've got a quick break here, second, I would just like to remind you that I'm extremely litigious. So be careful of that impersonation that you've been requested.
Oh no, you're gonna sue me with your millions.
Yeah, well, yeah. Basically, yeah. I'm like Trump level litigious. So.
Potent.
Actually, no. I've done a very much more me style thing, which is preemptive nuke from orbit.
Nice.
So look forward to Monday's video comments.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I just recently moved to Portland, so I mean.
Well, I've done a bit of an inception.
Nah. How's the beard coming, Oil? That's everyone's question.
That's what everyone wants to know. I did consider doing like a beard diary. I didn't think it would be that popular.
I didn't actually move to Portland. I just want that oil guy to nuke Portland.
Yeah, nuking Portland, I think, should go without saying.
In
It's not-
Minecraft.
Yeah. Yeah,
In Minecraft, yes.
Chad, yes.
Seems like an important policy, to be honest.
I'm not sure they would actually do very much damage at this point. I mean,
Yeah, are there any government buildings in
If
Portland
anything,
still standing?
well, just might make the general clearance of the area easier. Sort of reduce all the current rubble down to its constituent parts. It might make things a bit easier to clean up.
You can just use a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. Need the one from Spaceballs.
So what I was thinking might be better is a neutron bomb, so we can reuse the buildings.
Well, if you're going to do that, you might as well just use sarin nerve gas and be done with it. A lot more effective in the long run.
In Minecraft.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah,
All
All
turns
you want
out
to do is kill.
turns
Turf
out
Wars continues.
turns out the best thing for the anti-feminist argument in years has been the transgender movement.
Yeah.
Because people have decided to send J.K. Rowling bomb threats for saying extremely offensive things like women have vaginas. Now, I know that does offend a lot of retards.
What do you think normies get out of that? Like, do you think normies are like, what the hell's going on, or do they even care?
Well, I suppose that's the advantage to it being J.K. Rowling. Normies have heard of J.K. Rowling. They know nothing about this bullshit, but they've heard of J.K. Rowling. And they're like, people are sending her bomb threats? Why? Then they take one look at it and go, well, that's all insane.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to send J.K. Rowling death threats, there are better reasons to do it.
Yeah.
But do these normies go, oh, that's pretty crazy, and then they're like, oh, I guess I better go vote Labour, you know?
Well, what I notice is you notice that, like, oh my god, it's all paywalled. But you notice the, like, headline, right? The headline is very carefully worded. It's Twitter trolls. The headline doesn't carry the reason for them doing it.
No,
Yes,
it
it doesn't
doesn't.
say transgender activist. It doesn't say transgender activist threatens life of author, does it? It just says Twitter troll. You
Exactly.
mustn't implicate the trans people in any sort of crime. Never commit any crimes.
I mean, the fact that they've listed that the person's profile describes them as a gender-fluid lesbian and a cyber-Marxist, that's honestly about as good as mainstream.
Wait, what's a cyber Marxist? I mean, I don't know. I mean, because I'm immediately thinking of Marx dressed in a fucking Cyberman costume. I mean, that's where my brain goes. Which I'm kind of cool with. I mean, he'd make a Cyber Marx would have made an excellent Doctor Who villain. But in the earlier seasons before it got woke, because now the Doctor would be all on fucking board with it.
Yeah, or Captain America.
Yeah, but personally, as a Brit, I always thought Captain America was a complete fanny anyway. So, what's his weapon? A shield. What's this faggotry?
But he's got a
And
gun.
apparently he opposes Red Skull.
Fuck that. Yeah. I always much preferred Doctor Doom anyway. My pussy brother had a Captain America. I had a Doctor Doom. So, you know.
I reckon a cyber Marxist is basically a regular Marxist that doesn't want to give up the luxuries of the internet and air conditioning. So they're probably fat and more of a loser than regular Marxists.
I mean, that sounds like a zero-sum game to me. I don't think you can become more of a fat loser than a standard Marxist.
Wait a minute. Did Vosh send J.K. Rowling a death threat?
Probably.
Oh wait, it's a gender fluid lesbian. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Can you be a
That's the
gender
diff-
fluid lesbian?
What's the difference?
I mean,
Yeah, what's the difference?
you can
The
be in
size of
this.
her penis. The size of her penis is the difference between her and Bosch.
Yeah, hers is bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Good point. Good point.
Recently, one of my friends has been showing me some clips of a bread tuber named Demon Mama.
Oh,
So that
I've seen that one. Yeah.
mostly out of like humor. Like he's like, "Oh man, dude, like Demon Mama is like the worst. She's so dumb."
The only way to
And-
enjoy Marxists.
And no, like there are clips of like Demon Mama arguing, like why wouldn't dear gender be a valid identity? What's the argument against it?
So they're what? So they're an undercover normal person.
It sounds like bio-Leninism.
Hmm.
So you just get like the weakest, shittiest people and like raise them up as high as possible so they can't possibly like survive in any real sense. Just to mock everybody.
It's actually okay for Vosh to fuck children because Vosh's penis identifies as a child. You can't make enough jokes about Vosh's penis being tiny, can you? So it's not possible.
Nah.
Do you think he's a grower, not a shower? Because like that acorn was pretty crazy.
Oh, I think
want to think about it at all.
I think he's a grower, and that was erect.
He looked like a squirrel was trying to like hide an acorn over the winter, and like for some reason he didn't notice.
I've not seen this, but I'm already getting disgusting mental images that describes it probably far too well.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Extremely accurate. Yeah. So, on the subject of pedophiles, today's show was pretty fucking black pill, right?
Fucking goddamn German.
Ah shit! I didn't catch it. I just woke up.
Oh god. Okay.
I napped through half of it too. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Just horrendous.
I'm pretty black pill already, so I'm all prepared.
Why is it every week there's a new sexualizing children like saga?
Because the left
all
is full of
communists are
pedophiles.
pedophiles.
They want to rape your kids, mate.
Because the left is all pedophiles.
Because they're coming for our children. They're coming for them.
Oh god.
Let's see.
It's so bad on so many levels.
Oh, German. That
Of
would have been
course.
my second guess after France.
I'm starting to get to the point where I think anyone who's abused as a child should just be shot. You can't be saved. If you're abused as a child, it seems so likely that you'll go on to abuse other children that for safety reasons we should just kill them all.
I think most of them are something like 80% of them don't. So that's pretty that's pretty good, I guess. That's a white pill for you. But yeah, maybe just to be safe.
Just to be safe.
Well, the
Yes.
Australian government could probably get behind
this
that.
one's broken. This one's broken.
The Australian government would probably get behind that because the shit they'll do to reduce the risk of a child being abused. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Wait, wasn't there like a 13-year-old drag queen in Australia?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah. Straight into the chipper.
The kid or the idiots or the pedophiles responsible.
Well, them too. Just everybody involved, for safety's sake, into the chipper.
I mean, sounds reasonable.
It's honestly where I'm headed now. It's just you live
Honestly,
next door
like-
to the paedophile just in case into the chipper.
Honestly, I think you might, your plan might be better received in Norway, where they've gotten rid of Down syndrome. They've eliminated it.
They came up with the final solution
Well,
for Down syndrome?
They just.
I mean, unironically, that's kind of what
Chad,
they
yes.
did.
They absolutely did do that. And it was highly successful until they started to get Roma and things like that moving in to
Oh. Well, shit.
Norway had very very strong genetic. I mean Norway's not very diverse.
Just a heads up, folks. I apparently am in the middle of a massive thunderstorm, so if everything suddenly disappears, that's why.
Wait.
But shouldn't be an issue.
Home's been destroyed by So basically, if the stream goes off, it's because God disagrees with what we're saying.
Yes, but the question is, are we talking about Thor or Zeus?
After the George Floyd mural, I kind of doubt that.
or maybe not specifically God, but just any one of the Norse thunder gods. In fact, possibly because we've talked about the Norwegians killing all the Downs kids. That might be a bit of an Odin moment.
I mean, I'd probably be okay with that. Let's be real.
Actually,
Hey, you look up in the sky and it's just like Trim twirling a hammer around.
I don't know about Trim being manly enough for that.
Oof.
Shots fired. Where is he anyway? I haven't seen. He's been very.
You couldn't hear
Haven't
it.
seen very much of him for a few days.
If the stream gets shut down by the weather, maybe that's like it could be a omen of protection, you know.
I don't know. I don't know if he's back on the ship yet.
He's not. He is currently off being special and baking his own birthday cake.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of Chad.
It sounds like a euphemism.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I'm sort of hoping I'll be able to start my travels again soon, and when that's a possibility, I will definitely go and visit him.
So, Student of History has brought some Australian bullshit to my attention.
Okay.
Oh boy. How vibrant.
So, remember Nerf guns and how they're completely not dangerous?
Well, disagree.
Unmodified ones.
Okay.
Well, they'll now need to be registered as firearms in South Australia because they look scary.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
because they look
Boy,
scary.
you
Like
wanna
fucking
watch
red and
boy.
blue and yellow and shit. Yeah.
Yep. And the reason they're being banned is because they operate identically to prohibited gel blasters, which is for some reason a weapon because they look scary.
See gel
guys
blast?
got
Oh,
the
the
women
like the little
in
pellet ones. No?
Yeah.
Who put the women in charge?
So a $35 Nerf Mega Big Shot model needs to be registered as a firearm, which means you need to be licensed to possess them.
Excellent. I like the idea of this. So does that mean all these children are going to have to go and have extensive firearm training so they're allowed to have their Nerf guns?
Oh, well.
Because I'm super okay with it if that's what it means.
It's Australia. They don't want extensive firearms training because people might then be competent with the weapons that the government doesn't want them to have anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm okay if it means we have to pay for the children to go and have some fucking firearms training. I'm like okay with it.
Yep.
Well, imagine like promotional videos.
It's just like kids shooting each other's eyes out with Nerf guns.
I mean, it honestly sounds like a little bit more natural selection if they're shooting their eyes out. Well, maybe you should have ducked.
Yeah, exactly. Pussy. Walk it off, pussy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't think Nazis are a good thing, but I sort of feel like the Hitler Youth was kind of, like a template from which could be worked a more capitalisty idea.
Yeah.
So,
moving on.
I just think all children should have to go through some sort of cadet training at some point.
Well, based. I mean, I'm okay with this. Maybe we can beat them into being, competent adult humans.
Yeah, I think it's probably the most effective way.
Well, we've got to try something different to letting them do whatever the fuck they want and not having their asses kicked when needed.
Oh, apparently just put them in high school pedo.
So, gel blasters are considered a regulated imitation firearm because they look scary. But that's okay.
That sounds like a woman's reasoning, to be honest. I don't understand how that makes any sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't need to either. It's an Australian state government. As dumb as you can get.
So, what's your bureaucracy like there? Is that possibly where this came from?
Sorry?
This policy, could it have come like directly from bureaucracy, or was there like an actual politician like loser that proposed this? Like, how could you even look yourself straight in the face in the mirror after proposing something so stupid?
Well, I mean, this is Australia, where I can, because of how our firearms laws work, I can legally possess handguns and non-semi-automatic rifles. But I cannot have a crossbow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, crossbows are pretty gay, so.
We can have bows here, like those compound bows.
A bow's about the only thing you can buy in this fucking country.
I mean, I think it's kind of retarded because I have to say, like, the scariest weapon I can think of doesn't look like a gun anymore. So,
What about a boomerang? Are you allowed to use those?
no, that's cultural appropriation.
Yeah, basically.
Actually, genuinely is. It's like the one true, genuinely true bit of cultural appropriation that does exist.
What if you
Well,
say you're
boomerang looks like a stick, right? Isn't there something in Australian law about a stick?
Probably. I mean, if you just have a boomerang and stick it on your wall because you're an idiot, that's fine. But if you take said boomerang and wave it threateningly in the general direction of, I don't know, a kangaroo, it's probably a weapon then.
Does that require the kangaroo to report you, or? I
No,
mean, what if the kangaroos? Well, hang on. What if the kangaroo's wearing boxing gloves?
well, then it's even more illegal. But the boxing gloves actually make the kangaroo safer.
Yes.
What if he winks at you?
Yeah, you'd be threatening an endangered species.
I don't think kangaroos are endangered.
No, kangaroos are actually
the
a
kangaroos
pest.
that come with
Boxing gloves
boxing
pre-attached.
Yeah.
Ah.
They love boxing gloves.
Prime Knight asks, does private gun ownership affect illegal guns? Here in Sweden, you can only have hunting rifles and shotguns, while criminals are armed with AK and grenades. Yeah, private gun ownership doesn't affect illegal guns. In the way that the criminals don't get more illegal guns because all they need is a fucking single-shot 22 to be better armed than the entirety of the general populace.
Yeah.
But criminals don't need to import their guns illegally. All they need to do is wait until a cop forgets one in a bar and pick it up and fuck off with it.
Yep. Based.
Because the person you can trust least in Australia with a firearm is the police. Because those idiots keep losing them all over the fucking shop. Why? Because they don't have to be licensed. They don't have to have secure storage, and they're fucking idiots.
Wait, sorry, what now? They don't need a license?
Nope. Because
And they don't need a secure storage for it.
Nope, but they allegedly lock them up back at the police station, but... I'll get the news story up because some dumb fucking cop lost his gun in a fucking bar. And they then broke all sorts of privacy laws using the allegedly privacy-maintaining COVID apps. Because cops are dumb fucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I'm very much of the Logan Run type approach to police, I think.
I wonder if any of this could start to be reversed through like propaganda. I just read that book by Bernays. Are you guys familiar?
No.
It's just a book called Propaganda, and it's this guy, I think Edward Bernays, who's like the nephew of Freud, and basically wrote this book about his experiences and stuff, working with convincing the general public about products or going to war or whatnot. It's interesting because from his point of view, this is where the real power comes from. This sort of secret elite that sort of convinces people to do things or not based on this propaganda. And he thought it was the right thing to do because there's just so many choices that people need to be led to a certain one or not. So like the NPCs. But I wonder if this sort of power could be used for good, or if it's like the one ring.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Honestly, I've been kind of wondering that with the education system. Like,
Yeah.
the idea of patriotic education, so to speak. Because it kind of hits a point where it's like, is a neutral objective system or a neutral education system really possible even?
No, I don't think it is. It's definitely. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The abolition of man kind of black-pilled me on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if it's not possible to have a neutral one, maybe we should have a patriotic one.
Yeah. I mean, if nothing else, we should have a patriotic one just to counterbalance the damage caused by current Western education systems.
Yeah. So, I got the article up about So, remember how people said, oh, you get all these COVID apps and the police will use them to track people for bullshit? And that was called a conspiracy theory? Yeah, it turns out the police will totally fucking do that. Queensland police have used data collected by the Check in Queensland app, despite assurances from the state government it would only be used for contact tracing purposes. Police accessed the details as part of an investigation into the reported theft of an officer's gun and taser from a regional pub. The unloaded firearm, initially believed to have been stolen on the night of the first day of Origin game from a locked room in the Miriam Vale Hotel, was found the next day during a more detailed search of the pub. Investigations into the missing taser, which was also unloaded, are ongoing. So here's my problem with that. If a civilian had lost a gun in a hotel, they'd be in prison. Or they'd have a massive fine. Because civilians must keep guns locked up at all times, excluding being in use. If it's not safely stored, it's a violation of the Firearms Act.
I mean, my first problem is the fact that taser is not a fucking firearm.
This is just a taser?
No, this dumb fucking cop lost a gun and a taser. But tasers are also
gun and a
illegal.
taser, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it's not a firearm. Oh, I thought you said... okay.
Yeah. But this is Australia, so tasers are also ultra illegal. I mean, it's actually harder to get a taser than it is to get a gun. Because reasons.
I don't know why they use fucking... They're way better... You get tase rounds for shotguns that are way better than tasers.
Absolutely. But I still
A
maintain
whole lot more fun.
I still maintain that I should have the right to use and what am I feeling like? A Bren gun for home defense. A Bren gun sounds good today.
No, it's not. It wouldn't be at all effective.
Oh no, Bren gun's just the minimum. Like, I reckon I should be allowed to have a minigun at the top of the stairs.
Just, you say that, but think about your replastering costs. I mean...
Well, that's why you see the family of the dead guy after the cops drag his corpse off your porch.
All right, yeah. Fair play.
Just take take his car that he probably stole, sell it off, use that to rebuy it.
I think my point is home defense flamethrowers are probably not a good move.
They should be legal, though.
Don't they have those in South Africa?
Oh well, our work trucks when I was in South Africa had fucking gas units on them that engulfed the car in flames if you wanted to.
Nice.
Completely legal. There's a big fucking red button on the dash, and you hit it, and the flames come up the side of the car.
Oh, so is that if you get surrounded by a mob?
It's to prevent carjackings.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Just an LPG tank that just fucking lights up the car. Womp.
Nice.
Yeah, we had on Range Rovers when we were out there.
Okay, Rick. Are most cars bulletproof there? I don't think I'd be driving around with bulletproof windows.
I mean,
okay, here you go.
Okay.
I think it just keeps cutting out.
No, I can't quite hear you, Liquid.
Oh, am I not there?
You're here, but your audio's a little subpar.
Okay, one sec.
I don't know driving South Africa without bulletproof windows and all that.
Yeah, did you see that video from a while back about with the armored car but trying to be robbed, and the driver's just a fucking badass the whole time.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
sick. Not his first rodeo.
Well, apparently he's ex like tactical weapons unit or something. So yeah, he was about fucking badass.
When he got out and he was right on it too. Like he got out and he was like ready to ready to kill.
Yeah.
In Minecraft.
Oh no, that guy was ready to go. His offside completely fucking wetting himself.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of this bullshit. When I've been like in Kazakhstan, some of these countries and stuff, where you get sort of like ex special forces security details with you, it's just like these guys are fucking nuts. Like, you just don't even speak to them. You just know that they're all fucking psychopaths. You're just like, okay, cool, let's go.
The thing is, I wonder if it's because of like the racial laws they have there, where certain groups in Minecraft get like special treatment. But I wonder if that causes like the guys that the white guys, they have to go into like these badass jobs because like there's just nothing else.
No, I think it's just a lot of them are ex-military.
And the
Just best paid.
the only jobs that pay anything worth talking about are the ones that involve shooting dumb people.
Yeah, basically. The oil companies, the oil companies are not so much worried about the value of my life or the other engineers that are with us, but more the time constraints of their project. If they have to replace one of us, it's not about us specifically; it's about the cost in lost time that they're concerned about.
Well, it's the same reason they put effort into keeping soldiers safe. Not because the soldier individually matters, but because it's a pain in the ass to replace him.
Yeah, that's it.
So, the dumb fucking cop who lost his gun and taser, he's been
Promoted.
suspended. Suspended, surprisingly.
Suspended for future promotion.
Yeah, suspended until this all blows over and then he'll be promoted.
For his diverse keeping of handguns.
So, Deputy Commissioner, some dumb fuck, has said police were concerned public confidence in the app was harmed by the data use after the government promised it would only be used for contact tracing. Yeah, and only an idiot believed them. Anyone who believes that the cops won't do anything they can to fuck you over is delusional. So apparently the police successfully sought a search warrant to access the check-in data in relation to a group of people reported to be acting suspiciously in the area. Yep, because acting suspiciously in the area is grounds for violation of your rights, but okay.
I don't know what they mean by acting suspiciously. Were they like playing jacks or something like that, or?
They were probably just there.
Okay.
There while male and drunk. Is probably the issue. A senior constable.
Do you have your freedom license?
No. There is no freedom in Australia.
Unlicensed freedom event.
Yeah. But remember, only anti-lockdown protests spread COVID.
Oh, hey, do you guys know about the church burnings in Canada?
Yes.
Oh my god, yes.
Do you know how many have burned?
It's got to be
I don't
over
know
a
the
dozen
number.
now, doesn't it?
It's over. I think it's over 20 now, and it's like
Shit.
no word. Like the cops are just like, we don't know if they're connected or not. It's like, come on, if it was a mosque or anything else, they would have been all over that. They would have been like on the TV, talking about how close they are to finding it. It's just they don't care.
Come on, man.
And
If somebody had
giving
left
a
a big
statement about how they stand with their Muslim Canadians.
It's
And
it's
Justin
not
Trudeau would put his like rainbow Ramadan socks on.
like they wouldn't even. They
I'm
wouldn't
not
even have
even
needed.
joking. Justin Trudeau has rainbow Ramadan socks.
You
Can we
wouldn't even
send
need to have.
him to like Saudi Arabia or something?
I mean, he could probably like blend in with his body painting skills. Only problem is he can't grow a beard.
They wouldn't even have needed to burn the mosques down. They could have just put bacon sandwich outside of half a dozen of them, and it would have been the same effect.
Hmm. Speaking of police
It would have.
corruption, the Michigan governor kidnapping case. Turns out there
Oh
were
yeah,
more
FBI.
FBI informants than alleged conspirators. And the FBI informants were the ones doing the recruiting and the training of the alleged conspirators.
So what you're saying is false flag.
The thing is so glowy you can see it from space.
Yeah. And oh god, the Michigan governor, that's Whitmer, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Whitmer.
She was the other one aside from Cuomo who sent people with COVID into nursing homes and then got on stage at the DNC convention in 2020 to rip into Trump for his handling of COVID.
Yeah. So let's start with the fact that one of the FBI agents that was investigating it has been arrested for beating his wife at a swingers party. So he's obviously a moral genius.
What a venue, you know?
Yep. So he's been thrown out and they're not going to bring him into the trial.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
They did something like that here in Canada. There was like this these two crazy people, like actually like mentally ill, and the cops set them up with all the information needed to make these like pressure cooker bombs, and their plan was to put these bombs around one of the legislatures of our province of BC, and to blow them up during a Canada Day celebration. And they were convicted of this crime, but then they pleaded what do you call it? They appealed it, and it was shot down. The sentence was shot down because it was so obvious that these people are basically just homeless crazy people that like yell at the signs or whatever. Like they yell at their shadows and stuff, and they were basically like led by the hand to do all these things, and so now they're just free.
Yeah.
Because
so
the cops fucking set them up.
it turns out that there's a surprising source that no one can accuse of being right wing that's actually got the right opinion on this. Fucking BuzzFeed News.
Crikey.
Yeah. Watching The Watchmen. So, let's see if we can find the relevant parts. So the government has documented at least 12 confidential informants. How many people have been arrested for this again? Like a dozen people. So there are at least 12 confidential informants. So, an examination of the case by BuzzFeed News, who are apparently one of the better news organisations now, reveals that some of those informants acting under the direction of the FBI played a far larger role than has previously been reported. Working in secret, they did more than just passively observe and report. Instead, they had a hand in nearly every aspect of the alleged plot, starting with its inception. So they came up with the idea, they recruited people, they trained them. Congratulations. You fucking locked up. A long-time government informant from Wisconsin, for example, helped organise a series of meetings around the country where many of the alleged plotters first met one another and the earliest notions of a plan took root. The Wisconsin informant even paid for some hotel rooms and food as an incentive to get people to come.
Well, that's not an informant, is it? That's a fucking agent.
That's a glow in the dark. Like, that's an active participant in the plot.
Yeah, that's your hand right in the cookie jar.
Yep. And apparently some of this has come out because the fucking dumb fucks at the FBI accidentally released some part of a transcript between this guy and his handler, where the handler's instructing him on what he needs to do to get these people involved.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so shameless.
Why do you think the insurgency is any different?
So last week, the lawyer for one defendant filed a motion that included text from an FBI agent to a key informant. And we can actually view the motion. So, let's see. Special Agent Impala says, I default to getting as many other guys as possible, so whatever works to maximize attendance. I have a few goals for today. Invite all these people. See if one of them can do some recon. So, Special Agent Shitbag is instructing the informant to get people to do things. So, yeah. False flag, anyone? The Poles attacked my radio station. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think we're allowed to say that.
Probably not.
But yes, and the fact that it's like Gretchen Whitmer after she's been criticized a bunch doesn't really surprise me.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all, so this is going to be very interesting. Viva Fry does a good breakdown on it, if anyone wants to hear a bit more about it. So, yeah, that's the Fuck the Police segment for today.
Has anyone been following the make Trump speaker of the House theory at the minute? Quite
No,
fun.
but that does sound hilarious. I can just imagine Trump as the speaker. Sit down, shut up, I'm talking.
Well, apparently it turns out you don't actually have to be a senator to be Speaker of the House. No, you don't actually have to be a representative to be the Speaker of the House. The representatives just vote for a Speaker of the House.
Huh. Well, there you fucking go.
So what they're saying is, we could take back the House and just make Trump the Speaker to replace
God, that'd
Nancy.
be glorious.
And it was said as a joke, but the Dems are literally trying to pass a bill at the minute to prevent that from happening.
What is the bill?
That's how shook they are by the idea of it.
Kind of, sort of like how they tried to pass a bill, which is no president who has been impeached twice by the House can have anything named after him.
What about a president that's been impeached twice by the House and then become president again? Yeah, you didn't think that one through.
Well, that's why they needed to fortify the election, isn't it?
It's not that fortified, is it? Because, see what's happening in Arizona. We like to talk about Arizona here? We like to talk about Maricopa County?
We'd have to be very careful what we said.
So no, then.
Probably no.
Because careful is not the watchword for this group.
Based and red-pilled, but not careful.
Yeah. 100% based, 100% red pill, 0% careful.
Yes,
Especially when it comes to your...
our idea of careful is maybe we should step behind the sandbags while we fire the machine gun.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Imagine being one of the 12 glowies in that room, all like looking at each other, thinking each other are terrorists.
It's like the Spider-Man meme. You're the terrorist.
Yeah.
So you're the smart.
Dear.
Good stuff.
So, apparently they are still trying to convict that turf that... What did this turf do?
The Scottish turf.
Yeah, the Scottish turf. The one that's... I think it's the one that's responsible... that posted a photo of the suffragette ribbon.
Yeah. Ideal. It's really bad that we're having to defend feminists, but
That's the problem with having even this many principles.
Yeah.
and it sucks, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I bet Sargon misses the days of Anita Sarkeesian.
So, somebody kick the gypsy.
Okay, yeah. Throw him a hedgehog.
Dear.
I think they are making a serious. I mean, it's absolutely. I mean, Sargon actually nailed it earlier. He's just saying like it's hilarious that she's being defended by the SNP against the law created by the SNP.
Yeah, they didn't realise that it could be used against them as well, did they?
But I mean, that might. I mean, we need some of this shit to happen though to get it fucking gone. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it should have been obvious when they used it against Dank that it was not at all suitable.
Yeah.
But the lefties went, well, yeah, but he did say something about the Holocaust, so,
Yeah.
you know.
Billy Blog's point says that the international leftists have got so bad that we now have to support TERFs. Yes, the Overton window has shifted so far to the left that patriots and TERFs are now on the same side.
The far right misogynists that are apparently are defending feminists.
Yeah, that's how far the Overton window's shifted.
Yeah, the far right misogynists are speaking up for left wing feminists. That's how far the Overton window is made.
By how retarded they are too. It's just like a bunch of you have to fight which is the most retarded retard.
Yes, it's who can read the loudest, a feminist or a trans activist. Read.
Yeah, it's also funny that this whole thing is, even comparatively, it's shifting the TERFs to the right of where they used to be.
I know, it's so weird. I you know, it's like we're gonna end up with this sort of civil war, and it'll be far right extreme misogynists, apparently, feminists and tradcons versus anyone with a non-natural hair color.
Oh yeah,
Maybe the only way to...
Liquid Swan, check General.
Yeah, so we probably can't say that one. It's a spicy little meme.
Oh dear.
As in the kind of thing we definitely can't say on YouTube.
I could definitely say that.
Yeah, I mean, get Spoon in here. He'll fucking...
Yeah, Spoon will say it. He don't give a fuck.
I had to, like, beg him not to read fucking Lovecraft's, let's say, spicy poem he wrote.
Lovecraft's opinion on the civil rights movement. Let's just say negative. Oh dear.
I'm noticing a very odd phenomenon in my hometown at the minute. Girls just seem to have completely given up on the concept of bras. I'm not necessarily against it. Just seems like an odd thing.
Yeah.
As I'm going around delivering stuff just now, I just see girls walking down the street all the time, which is obviously, but you can tell, right? You can tell they're not wearing a bra. And I think that's a bit weird because it's kind of cold. You know, it's cold and shitty here generally. And
Well, maybe that's the
I think,
technique to attract more men. No
well,
bra
I
in
think
the
they just
cold.
No, I just think a lot of people have spent a year and a half sitting at home in their pajamas, and perhaps the idea of putting on. I mean, not that I've worn one, but my assumption is that they're probably quite uncomfortable.
Yeah.
In general sense, and I think perhaps just can't be arsed with them anymore. But
Certainly,
I've
if
just
I
seen
remember.
one girl that definitely. I've just seen one girl that definitely needed one, and she's not wearing one. Like,
Well, they'll learn when they're older that they get like flapjacks.
yeah. Well, I think that's a ship that sailed for what I just saw.
2 fried eggs hanging on a nail.
I know, like two water balloons, just sloshing around.
Student of History says, I'm a firm believer in free the nipple. That being said, don't whine when I look. Yep, sounds fair.
Flappers.
Yep.
Students see. I wonder what that means. You seen that one in general? The students see rise in SAT scores, SAT scores.
The what?
Well, because it doesn't say there. I mean, is that an average increase? Is it the average score that's increased, or?
They have a drop
Oh
in the
my
number.
god. Oh my god. Read. No, you gotta look at the sub headline.
That's why I'm reading it.
Students
Is
see
that-
rise in SAT scores, but drop in number of black students taking tests concerns officials.
But that's what I'm saying. Was it a rise in the average score of the people taking the test that's increased, or it just says a rise in scores? Does that mean that? Is it Because if that's a rise in the average score, those two things are connected.
It's also amazing that people call the SAT racist or something. It's really fucking dumb. Like, well, yeah, but they're like, oh, the SAT and ACT disadvantage black people. But there are like studies that have been done on this where it's like those tests actually help, like, disproportionately help minorities like get into college.
Yeah. Well, it's only if the questions are written as, Jamal has a fifth of weed, and two, how many eights can he get?
You got to make it relevant.
I believe that, yeah. Then I believe that it was aimed towards them, but otherwise. Omar has 4 grams of weapon-grade plutonium. How many dirty bombs can he make?
God, what are the rough streets like in Scotland, man? Fucking plutonium and dirty bombs and shit.
Oh, sorry, it's just work talk.
So apparently Biden, of course, reckons that you can't get COVID if you have the vaccines. Sounds like he should be banned from Twitter for dangerous misinformation.
Well, I mean, by their own standards, they should be.
Standards.
Yeah, by their So, what's this? Gibraltar COVID cases. Oh, wow, they're up to a whole new 30 cases by the looks of it.
Yeah. No one died there, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
It's basically genocide.
Yeah, I mean, I was asleep when the latest editors talked about it, so I assume Gibraltar's very highly vaccinated.
Yeah, it's like 90 something odd %. Very highly.
So,
But it's a tiny, self-contained place, so you know.
yeah. What?
I think we've lost you
See,
again.
I thought Gibraltar sounded familiar. I think Sargon got denounced by the chief minister of Gibraltar during his campaign.
Yeah, I think it's something like that happened. 'Cause
Yeah,
he
that
did
was the guy
campaign there.
that like Sargon recorded himself going around yelling, "Fabian, face me, you Oxford-educated twat!"
Something like that. Yeah.
Legendary
Yeah.
video.
No,
He may have been
that-
attacked by a seagull there as well. Can't remember.
Yeah. So, Joe Biden tells the world another whopper. You can't get COVID if you have a vaccine. This is not called out by the media, who are political activists and an enemy of the people. Yep, sounds about right.
Well, then why the fuck was he wearing a mask after got vaccinated?
Because he's an idiot.
Because consistency is not a value of the Democrats.
Yeah, so some Liquid
At all.
posted a meme of all the FBI agents whenever government officials talk about going after domestic terrorists. Yep, just circle the FBI.
Yeah.
So,
that seems.
what is this? Ian Dale, whatever the fuck his name is, because people have removed serifs from I, so I have no idea what letters are anymore. Imagine the abuse that would have been dumped on Trump or Bush if they had said this, yet Biden gets a free pass again. Yeah. God damn fucking Biden.
Well, you know, if you get the vaccine, then you can get some chocolate chip ice cream.
Sounds about right.
Also, what's the point of chocolate chip ice cream?
Because chocolate.
Yeah, it's just a sort of live imagination, that isn't it?
The answer, of course, is choc mint. It is superior.
Yep.
So, of course. When will children be under 12 be able to get vaccinated? Hopefully never, you fucking crazy people. So let's see what Biden's response to that question was.
That's underway, just like the other question that's illogical. And I've heard you speak about it because you always, I'm not
That's
being
underway,
solicitous, but
just like the other questions.
you're always straight up about what you're doing.
He's completely lost the fucking plot, if he ever had it.
What did he say?
Robert Longshore says leaky vaccine. This shit leaks like an open fucking window in a submarine. Screen door in a submarine or something. Yes, that's the one. Of course, stock market slide on fears of rising inflation. Gee, I wonder what could have caused inflation. Oh, fuck off, BBC. I don't want to register for an account.
Oh my god. Wait, go back real quick
What?
to something Biden said.
Back to the Biden video.
Yeah, there was something in the reply.
Our multi-trillion-dollar spending bills will reduce inflation, reduce inflation, reduce inflation.
Oh my god, what a fucking idiot.
Yeah, but also, what a fucking idiot anyone who reads and believes it.
You mean Democrat voters?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, the stock markets are sliding because, of course, they will when you print $1 trillion fucking dollars.
Oh my god.
Surging
I
commodity
can't wait.
prices.
I can't
yeah.
wait to hear in like 6 months about how this is all Trump's fault.
I'm sure it will be.
That's going to be the media narrative is like, well, if Trump had just done things differently during COVID, our economy would be just great right now. In fact, without Biden, it would have gotten like 10 times worse. Thank God for Biden.
Yeah.
And there's a real possibility that in 6 months Trump will be president again. So there's always a, I sort of expect the media to be blaming him. You know. Conspiracy theory number 2 for the after. Trust the plan.
Oh yes, that was
Oh,
hilarious. I remember
liquid.
that.
That is brilliant, but I cannot post that.
I know you can't.
I fucking love it, though. Pods of orcas are ramming migrant boats off Spain and Portugal, and scientists don't know why. Orca.
Yeah.
Yes. Orca's response is based and spoon-pilled.
That seems unlikely in that the orcas are naturally diverse.
Well, it really depends on if the orcas are white with black colouring or black with white colouring.
I'm just saying, you got the orcas doing that, the lightning hitting the mural, like, you know?
Actually, can I get away with posting all the assorted gods one? Yeah, that looks that looks close enough to save. I'll risk it. So here we go.
What?
Horror as migrants attacked by sharks after boats capsize in Mediterranean, 31 dead. Why are elephants wrecking a Rohingya Muslim refugee camp? Ethan Roper, 28, killed by tree branch after leaning out of a train window. Deer runs into Black Lives Matter marches in New Jersey, injuring 3, 1 seriously. Apparently the wildlife is sick of their shit. The orcas again, and then breaking Ohio George Floyd mural destroyed after being struck by lightning.
Oh, man. Really makes the guy wonder.
Yeah. Really does. So, I'll keep... Here's a BBC recommended article that we will have a look at shortly after this. So, stimulus effect. In March, Biden signed a $1.9 trillion economic relief bill. $1,400 checks to most Americans. And yet somehow inflation's gone fucking insane.
How did that happen?
Gee, I wonder. Is it because if you print shitloads of money, shit goes crazy? Yes, killer whales are doing the Coast Guard / Navy's job.
Yeah, I think the only way to actually cause inflation is to print off more money than your economy grows.
So, like $1.9 trillion?
Well, like, let's say your economy is $1 trillion, but worth right now, and then you print off another trillion, you half the value of the money.
Yeah.
In circulation. And
Yep.
but if you imagine if your economy grew and you didn't print off any extra money, the money in the system would be like the money you have saved would actually buy you more stuff because it's representative of the whole economy. It's called deflation, and for some reason we're like afraid of deflation.
Yeah, which is weird because deflation is good for the poor people. Oh, that's why we don't do it.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like fucking Hugo on Lotus Eaters wrote an article about this, about how inflation is theft. And honestly, I think inflation is worse than taxation. At least with taxation, you see how much money they're taking from you. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
you know, it's
inflation
right in
is
front of your face how much money they're taking from you.
well. With inflation, they can basically just steal it without steal it while you're sleeping, and even if no matter how well you save it or protect it, it's screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Which is why my friends over at Birch Gold can help you out. Birchgold.com/Ben for 20% off.
Don't make me. So 2.6% inflation. That's like 5 times my savings interest rate.
But hold on. That's 2.6% that they're reporting. When they do
Yeah.
their inflation calculation, what they do is they say, for example, if you get a computer that's say speed 1, and then the next year it's speed 2, but it only costs you $500 more, they'll say that's deflation. So when they do all the calculations, they'll say that the economy went up by 2%, but really, realistically, it went up by like 10 to 20%.
So it's outstripping savings rates by
Oh, yeah.
miles. It is at this point. It is not worth putting money into savings. You're better off just spending it.
Yeah, you're better off taking on loans with low interest. That's even better.
It's utterly insane. Though I'm rapidly at the point where it's like, fuck the bank. Take all my money out, put it in cash, shove it in a safe, then defend it with lots of guns.
Well, that's not going to hedge against inflation very well, which is why you need my friends over at Birch Gold to help you.
I'm going to smack you with a gold bar.
You should be diversifying your portfolio and investing in precious gold and metals.
Yeah, see, if I was going to invest, I probably wouldn't take Ben Shapiro's advice. So,
Okay, gang, I've been in the 1%, I've been out of the 1%. Okay, folks.
yeah. So with the BBC,
Oh, good.
I'm going to change the topic. So if you've got something to say on this, go for it.
Oh, I've been dabbling in crypto, but I've been like eating my shorts lately. But hopefully it goes back up.
Yeah. So BBC has recommended us an article. So let's see their fact check. Coronavirus. Was US money used to fund risky research in China? Ooh, and it's filed as a reality check. What is gain of function? Gain of function is when an organism develops new abilities or functions. So this can happen in nature. It can be achieved in a lab where scientists modify the genetic code or place organisms in different environments to change them in some way. Hey, here we go. Did the US fund virus research in China? Boom. Yes, it did contribute some funds. The fucking BBC said it. It must be true. Even the BBC of all fucking places believes it. So how long until Rand Paul has Fauci arrested?
Never.
It'd be nice for him to try.
Sorry for the black bill.
Yeah. So then they go on to ask, was it used for gain of function studies? Well, used for is 100% certain. Whether it was intended to, there's possibly some doubt about, but used for, it's guaranteed.
Yeah.
We are not doing gain of function research, and if we are, we're doing it in the United States and not Wuhan, China.
Yeah. So, dumbfuck Fauci reckons that it's been evaluated multiple times by qualified people to not fall under the gain of function definition. Sure, so you're lying. If you get a bunch of people that you're paying and tell them to lie, that counts as multiple qualified people. Absolutely fucking disgraceful.
The most charitable read of it is that he's like using some like hyper technical definition of it. So he's like, well, I mean, technically I didn't lie. But I mean, like, it's fucking obvious even in that case that he's just playing word games.
Yeah, like, he'd actually look better to them if he's like, yeah, you're right. Whoops. Yeah,
Dr. Fauci,
yeah.
why did you lie? You defended China, now millions have died.
Based. Mr. Tucker says, I want Fauci indicted, so I'm giving him over to the checks notes. Biden DOJ. That'll go somewhere. Fucking goddamn it. Hate it when people are right like that.
Said.
Oh, US inflation sees biggest jump since 2008. Who was president in 2008, Ackend?
Yeah, well, Bush.
Was it Bush?
Yes, 2008 would have been the election where
So
Obama
there's
got
the
elected.
problem then. So it's all gone to shit since Obama got elected. Consumer prices jumped 4.2% in the 12 months through to April. Yeah, funny how locking the country down massively will do that.
Biden stopped paying people to stay home if the vaccines work.
Yes.
Like, holy fuck.
Yeah. What a stupid fucking idea, though. Let's make unemployment 95% of the minimum wage. That'll encourage people to get work. It's almost...
The left doesn't understand human incentives.
Yeah. Sadly, well, I would say the right, but they're not really right-wing. The government in Australia is apparently right-wing, but they're like right-wing in the same way the fucking... Shit, what are they? The communists in England are. Like, their idea of a fair fucking welfare payment is 40% of the minimum wage. I'm thinking that both of those numbers are fucking stupid and it should be somewhere in the middle. But, oh well, it's neither here nor there. God damn it, Biden.
Well, you know, if you want to have a biscuit, then you gotta put your foot on the apple cart.
Oh, God. That's...
He's got the best sentences.
Yeah. Like, at this point, I think it's actually elder abuse. So let's have a look at how Reddit hates people, and the UK's gone to shit. So, non-crime hate incident. I need your help. So, recently had a midlife career change that involved some university study. Well, that was your first fucking mistake. Breezed through the university portion of the training, although with COVID it was all via Zoom. Poor bastard. New career can potentially involve working with children of vulnerable people, so required a DBS check, whatever the fuck that is, before he can go to his new work premises. Bunch of checks. What I didn't know about was non-crime hate incidents. I received a call from my new workplace at the start of last week telling me they won't be able to proceed with my work placement because of the hate crime on my criminal record. A non-crime hate incident. Yeah, okay. Oh, fuck me, it's even dumber than you'd think at first glance. So, he got a copy of the DBS, and it says, and I quote, Non-crime hate. Victim has reported that Redditor has a flag in the rear window of his car. Checked X, which she believes to be a X George Cross. Victim believes that this has been displayed as a symbol of racial hate and has made her feel alarmed and upset. Victim believes that the Redditor is likely to be involved in right-wing activity targeting people like victim characteristic. Non-crime hate can be filed. Oh, it's a disclosure and barring service. Thank you, Robert Longshaw.
What the fuck? Like, that's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, I've heard stupider things, but it's fucking close.
Right wing. Ooh.
Yep. For having a fucking George Cross. God forbid you fly the flag of your own fucking country. Solomon Guthrie says take the word crime and hate out of that. So that would make it a non-incident. Yeah, that sounds about fucking right.
I'm starting to think racism was a good thing.
It's a service run by the government to stop pedos working with kids and such stuff. And let me guess, it's completely and utterly ineffective. That sounds about right. We've got something even worse in Australia. Because in Queensland, we've got something called the blue card system, which is a check before you can work with kids. And in the government's infinite wisdom, if you charges that did not result in a conviction that actually resulted in a complete acquittal can be counted against you. So I know a friend who has been fighting for 2 years because 20 years ago his ex-wife accused him of showing porn to the kids. And because of that, he can't get get the check to go through. It's utterly insane. See you later, Liquid. Have a good one.
Take it easy, guys.
So let's have a look at some of these responses. What a crock of shit. The report, not what you said, based. First question would be why the police decision maker decided this was relevant to the post for release. Yep. Second would be why university or the workplace have decided this is a bar for placement. A DBS disclosure is not a certificate of good conduct and is an employer who makes the final recruitment decision. Well, at least that's better than in Australia. The allegation was made in record as it should be and filed as a load of old shit and they won't expunge it from the record. Yeah. Go to DBS disputes. Yep, cool. Such fun. So, of course, it's been locked by the moderators of Police UK. What an embarrassment. What a goddamn embarrassment. So what have we got now? We Are Fair Cop, a group of gender-critical lawyers, former police officers, writers, and professionals dedicated to upholding articles, whatever, of the ECHR. What's that? The European Commission of Human Rights? Is that something like that? Some other bullshit?
Gender critical lawyers. What the fuck?
I mean, at this point, it's better than fucking tranny lawyers.
Wait, is
Only
that not what
marginal.
that is?
Gender critical is basically anti-trans.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood that.
Yeah.
But they're still trying to uphold human rights, which is just ridiculous.
Oh, fuck off, Times. Yes,
believe
officers
in
should
human
not be
rights.
tasked with policing the boundaries of public debate. Yeah, no shit. The police are there to protect life and property, preserve the peace, prevent crime, and bring offenders to justice. Well, they used to be. They're not there to get involved in legitimate political debate between members of the public, still less to use the power and resources of the state to take sides in those arguments. None of those principles should be controversial. You'd think not, but...
I think the only solution to policing now is to leave the police force alone as it is, create an entirely new institution of policing with actual sensible rules and laws. Train an entirely new set of police, run them in parallel, and then replace the existing police force in its entirety.
Yep,
Don't take anyone from the existing.
replace the
you'd have to get
existing
them all
police
trained
force
up
with the new constabulary. Sounds good.
Yeah, because you're never going to be able to undoctrinate what's being. It's like the university. The university staffs need to be replaced in their entirety.
Yep. Well, actually, we could bring the constabulary. We
can't
could probably
remove the
bring the
infections.
constabulary back quicker if we go through the police records and find anyone who's been fired for racism, discrimination, or sexism, and just bring them back. Well, there's some good cops for you.
Maybe.
Anyone who's been fired from the current police force, bring them in for interviews.
I think unfortunately the police force in general is quite corrupt. It's being corrupted by its management, and there's no unfucking it now. They've been trained, at their police academies. Essentially, they've been trained with all this bullshit, and there's no getting rid of it. I also think there should be maximum term that you can be a policeman for. I think the very nature of being a police person is self-corrupting. You shouldn't have that sort of power for long.
It's very important that police officers in general understand white rage.
Oh God, is that actually a thing?
That's what the general who CRT got said.
I mean, I have to say, my experience of seeing rage in public has not generally come from the white people. I mean, I've never seen a white guy throw his shoe at another white guy, but I have seen a black guy do it. In fact, more than once.
There are black guys in Scotland?
It wasn't in Scotland.
Wow.
But yes, there are some. Which is why we need 50-50 representation in our companies.
Ludicrous.
Yeah, black guy have to have about 9 jobs. They'll have to have about 9 jobs each to get any kind of significant representation.
Yeah. So, apparently Joe Biden does think that people think he drinks the blood of children. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Not defunding the police. We have
Are
not.
there people
I mean,
who
that sounds like
Are there people in the Republican Party who think we're sucking the blood out of kids?
I'm not sure. Are there people in the Democratic?
So his response to, are there people in the Democrat Party that think that we want to defund the police? It's like, are there people in the Republican Party who think we want to suck the blood out of children? What the fuck is wrong with him?
Yeah. The Snopes response to that is that Joe Biden doesn't drink the blood of children. He bathes in it.
Yes. That's the dementia making him say the quiet part out loud. That's right.
Fake news.
And of course...
It's so weird because he's calling that a conspiracy theory when they've been saying that.
Well, it was started as a joke. So apparently he also said he was on the Judiciary Committee 150 years ago, which I'm inclined to believe at this point.
Yeah.
Way back
Vampire.
150 years ago when I was chairman of the Judiciary
Although
Committee, we
it'd be
spent a
quite
lot of
funny if
time.
it turns out the vampires really do exist, but they get dementia.
Yeah. Way back 150 years ago when I was chairman of the Judiciary Committee. Oh my god, he's completely insane. And of course, back in March, he said that he first came to the United States Senate 120 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's that, or it's just a really badly written joke.
A really stupidly written joke.
You know, like a self-deprecating, like 150 years ago when I was, I mean, I quite often go like 100 years ago when I was at school, stuff like that.
Yeah, but the problem is he
I
doesn't
remember
say
when
it
I
like a
grew
joke.
up on the supercontinent of Pangea.
Yeah.
I think he is going. He's definitely got dementia though. Almost certainly.
He's less coherent than the streamers.
Hey, there's a vague plan to this stream.
I just thought it there. Like that.
So, let's have a look at the German pedophiles.
Oh,
God
love to.
Damn it. Germany was a mistake. Letting Germany remain a sovereign nation after World War II was a mistake.
Obviously. Actually, I think you'll find that the statement there is letting any country remain a sovereign nation after World War II is a mistake. Empire! Should have gone full Spartan. Turned the entire of the UK into a
Nah, I
military
prefer
state.
not needing a license for a knife, dude.
You don't need a license for a knife here. You're just not allowed them. There's no license. There's no license for carrying the knife, man. You just can't have them.
Yeah. Right, so let's have a look. In 2017, a German man who goes by the name Marco came across an article in a Berlin newspaper with a photograph of a professor he recognized from childhood. Blah, 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 blah. He was surprised to read that the professor, Helmut Kantler, had been one of the most influential sexologists in Germany. Well, there's a stupid fucking job title. The article described a new research report that had investigated what they called the Kantler experiment. Beginning in the late 60s, Kantler had placed neglected children in foster homes run by pedophiles. The experiment was authorized and financially supported by the Berlin Senate. In a report submitted to the Senate in 1988, Kantler had described it as a complete success. What the fuck? Like, seriously, what the fuck? Blah, 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 blah. I don't care about this guy in particular. Nentwig, so apparently he called someone who'd done a report on it, but who'd thought the experiment had ended in the 1970s, but Marco told her he'd lived in his foster home until 2003 when he was 21. Totally shocked, she said. She remembers Marco saying several times, "You're the first person I've told. This is the first time I've told my story." This is a really poorly written article.
Has anyone checked to see how often the Clintons visited Germany in the 70s? Check if how often Epstein's plane landed in Berlin.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's the problem. His father was a Palestinian refugee, so it all went downhill from when his father arrived in Germany. The mother sent Marco and his older brother to daycare in dirty clothes, left them there for 11 hours. Marco was assigned to live with Henkel, a 47-year-old single man who supplemented his income as a foster father by repairing jukeboxes and other electronics. When Henkel began fostering children in 1973, a teacher noticed he was always looking for contact with boys. 6 years later, a caseworker observed that Henkel appeared to be in a homosexual relationship with one of his foster sons. When a public prosecutor launched an investigation, Helmut Kentler, who called himself Henkel's permanent advisor, intervened on his behalf. A patent that repeats throughout more than 800 pages of case files about Henkel's home. 800 pages. Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, that's just your typical German, though, isn't it? I mean, 800 pages could just be, a very, very accurate description of the house.
Describing the front lawn. No.
Yeah.
Measuring each individual blade of grass.
Yeah, some bullshit like that.
So, the newspaper Die Zeit had described him as the nation's chief authority on questions of sexual education. Well, there's your fucking problem. The government having an opinion on sexual education. He commended Henkel on his parenting skills and disparaged a psychologist who invaded the privacy of his home, making wild interpretations. The criminal investigation was suspended. Thanks, Germany. Honestly, this is absolutely fucking appalling writing. In one photo, he wears this, this, and this. Who cares? Absolute astounding bullshit in this article. Oh, fuck me, how long is this? So, at night, when Henkel came into his room asking to cuddle or wait for him while he brushed his teeth before bed, he had to comply. Yuck. Just constant fucking bullshit in this article. So Henkel kept intervening. Marco Sanders had been coached. Yep. He told the judge that his foster father, whom he called Papa, loved him and his birth family did not. Well, that sounds fucking awful. Mr. Tucker says go and make it 18 pages long and 15,000 words to make sure normies don't have the attention span to get through to the relevant info. Wouldn't be surprised if I turn my ad blocker off. Oh, yeah, there we go. Brave tells me there's 53 fucking ads. 54 keeps counting. Yeah, gotta keep fucking scrolling through the ads as well. My god, it's just continuous fucking bullshit. Now we're talking about Auschwitz.
No.
God knows. Okay, here we go. A few years later, Germany's nearly sub-screen party, blah, 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 advocate for abolishing the age of consent for sex between children and adults, so they're all nonces, the entire party. Oh, Kantler befriended a 13-year-old named Ulrich, whom he described as one of the most sought-after prostitutes in the station scene. Out fucking standing.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some water.
He's said to himself, if the prostitutes call this man mother, he can't be bad, or he could be abusing them.
Or he could have just told them to call him mother.
Yes, because
He
he's
was
a mentally ill pedophile.
A trans pedophile.
I said mentally ill. Oh my god, they still haven't actually told us about what he's done to this poor fucking kid.
I've just assumed bummed.
Constant fucking bullshit. Okay, here we go. For years, Marco tolerated Henkel, but as he began growing through puberty, he said, I started to hate him. He spent an hour each day lifting weights so that he would be strong enough to defend himself. One night when Henkel tried to fondle him, Marco hit his hand. Henkel seemed startled but didn't say anything. He just walked away. Stopped trying to sexually molest Marco, but he became punitive. At night, he locked the door to the kitchen so that Marco couldn't eat. He hit Marco. Constantly bullshit. So Henkel didn't call the doctors when one of the kids got sick. Eventually the kid died. Mr. Tucker asks how long before the German government starts passing out Soma. Not long. Boone has an excellent book that talks about how the Germans loved their drugs back in World War II in the 30s and whatnot. Here we go. For much of his career, Kentler spoke of pedophiles as benefactors. They often neglected children a possibility of therapy. How much was he getting paid for this? Berlin Senate commissioned him to prepare an expert report on the subject of homosexuals as caregivers and educators. In 1988, he explained that there was no need to worry that children would be harmed by sexual contact with caretakers, as long as the interaction was not forced. So, in 1988... 4 years before I was born, this guy told the German government that it was fine for the kids to have sex with their caretakers. It's fine. Totally fine. The consequences can be very positive, especially when the sexual relationship can be characterized as mutual love, he wrote. So, pedophile activism.
The thing I find most disgusting about that sentence is the fact that you were born in 1992.
Fuck you too. Old man.
Oh. I mean, it's wild to think that they've done this.
And they've gone away with it, apparently.
I mean, can you put an entire country in a wood chipper? I mean,
I do think Germany proved that you could, but we're going to need a really big wood chipper.
I mean, I think it's well within my capabilities.
Mr. Tucker says, didn't Milo get cancelled for saying something along those lines? Yes, he did, and Milo was the victim.
Yeah, Milo, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's more or less what Milo was talking about, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. Unfortunately...
He didn't see himself as a victim, though, did he? That was the problem.
Well, I think it was more that he was deflecting his victimhood by claiming that he was into it.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was a massive article of utter bullshit. It contained no information whatsoever in all that reading. I apologise for making it, if I made that sound super awkward for you guys in chat, but fuck me, that article's abysmal. Oh, here we go. Billy B asks, what do you think is worse, single mother or two gay dads? I'm going to go single mother.
Oh, that's what I wrote in the chat.
Yeah. Oh dear. So that's what I've got from the Lotus Eaters. Now, Capstash has given us given us something to have a look at. Next Generation EU. Thank fuck England got out.
Extra pedo?
Probably. Well, they want to make it green, and we know the Greens are pedos.
Is it EU2 pedo boogaloo? Any chance?
Yep, we have everything we need to make it happen. We have a vision, we have a plan, and we have agreed to invest 750 billion euros together. God damn it. Europe is on track to become the first climate-neutral continent by 2050. Yawn.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Righto.
Yeah, okay.
Tell me more about what's going on in Eastern Europe.
Climate neutral.
Yeah. We'll produce no more greenhouse gases than our ecosystems can naturally absorb. Right.
Oh, naturally absorbed. Interesting.
So they want to.
Are they planning on getting a lot of tropical rainforest from somewhere and adding it to Europe, huh?
Maybe. So here's one. We will improve water quality in our rivers and seas, reduce waste and plastic litter, plant billions of trees, and bring back the bees. Okay, so are you going to send out the dredgers to get all the fucking face masks out of the oceans, are you?
Bring back the bees. Do they know where they're being kept?
Presumably they were stolen by the Americans when they revolted. Or were all the bees in England, and now that's the problem? Create green spaces in our cities and increase the use of renewable energy. Yawn. Yeah, go on, man. Make farming more environmentally friendly so our food is healthier. Well, that's the stupidest fucking statement ever. Make the food healthier. Who cares? As long as the food's got the nutrients in it, it doesn't matter how you farm it. Capstasher says the bees are free. The government doesn't want you to know that. You can take as many bees as you want. Based.
Well, bees spend most of their time in transit, to be fair.
Yeah, this is true.
And if you want some, you can buy them online. You can have them sent to you in the post.
Yeah, you can. I've actually heard that. You can legitimately have a bee sent to you by mail. I hear that people do that when they want, like, to split hives and things. They just have a queen bee sent over. So the EU
Bees
will be
are really interesting.
Oh, bees are cool. Bees are really cool.
But they're extremely feminist. But they are. The women do all the jobs, all of them.
Well, I mean, I could get behind that. I'll stay at home, sit on my ass, and do nothing but have sex my whole life.
But they do a different job depending on their age. So as the female bees age, they change careers essentially. It's really interesting. It's also like the honeycombs, like the hexagonal honeycombs.
Yep.
Bees don't do that naturally. We make them do that.
Oh. That I did not know.
Yeah, so if you can actually make them do any shape. Basically what they do is that the liner that they put in the hive, it's just pre-printed with like a raised lines to make those hexagons. If you make a sort of existing structure when they lay the wax, they just follow whatever the existing pattern is. So you can literally make them do anything.
That is super cool.
Random.
So, the EU will be a leader in climate action, but everyone can do their part by taking public transport or biking, by eating more vegetables and less meat, by buying secondhand, recycling and reusing. How about fuck off and don't tell me what to do? How's that sound?
I think that's a great idea for the EU to do. Knock themselves out. I think this is a really good move for the EU.
What, turn them all into beta males so that we can conquer them in 20 years?
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, it's not such good news for Solomon, but, fuck that guy. I don't live in the EU, so I give a shit.
Thank fucking England
definitely.
left.
Eat less meat, eat more soy.
Yes. Go on, Europe. Make yourselves weak.
Sounds good. In the meantime, let me build some ships.
Yes. So, wait, they're going to make it digital. You'll be able to connect everywhere with 5G and EU-wide ultra-fast broadband. Right, and who's paying for that?
Well, they're making a lot of extra money from all the taxes they get from the migrants.
Yep, Capstasha says, yeah, highlight that. They want to reduce meat consumption. You will eat the bugs instead. Yeah, fuck the bugs. You'll receive a digital... Here's one that's really concerning. You'll receive a digital identity, making it easier to access online public services and giving you more control over your personal data. How about no?
Sure you will. I mean, like, imagine how much easier it would have been for the Nazis to round up all the Jews if they literally knew where they all were already. If they couldn't walk 2 feet without pinging a cell tower.
Well, actually, that's an argument I've had with some absolute fucking morons I know about the COVID checking apps. I'm like, I don't want to have this shit tell the government exactly where I've been at all hours of the day. Their response is, oh, but they know where they can ping you on cell towers. Sure, they can ping me to a generic geographic area. Also, taking my phone out of my pocket and dropping it on the table. I can do that, and then they're fucked.
I mean, I wouldn't say a generic area. I'd say to, square meter.
Yeah, that's even better than I thought. I thought it was more like 25-ish, but yeah.
No, it's super accurate actually.
Well,
to a point of being able to determine your elevation.
Okay, that is really cool. But again, they're fucked if I just leave the phone at home.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you have to work out. The thing you got to remember about your phone is it's not a fucking phone. There's nothing phone related about your phone at all. It doesn't have a phone in it, for instance. It's a radio.
Yeah, it is just it's basically just a fancy fucking computer these days.
Yeah, but it's the radio bit that allows them to triangulate it very accurately.
Yep. Oh god, our chat's pre-based. But blogs, what about the COVID app that tracks your every move, who you come close to, etc.? Yep, so they can tell who you associate with and round you all up at once. Capstasha says the EID tackles both their plan to remove anonymity and the COVID pass will evolve to track everything about you, all health info, driving license, everything. It's the social credit score plan. Yep. Mr. Tucker says, I had the contact tracing app added to my phone without my knowledge and hidden deep in the settings. Took me a while to figure out how to take the damn thing off. Yeah, thanks, Android and Apple, you fuckers.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the correct method was to never have installed it in the first place.
But forcibly installing it. Yeah, because we can trust the government.
Yeah. Can they forcibly? Well, I suppose that... Oh, hang on. How about this for conspiracy theory? Do you think the U2 debacle was a precursor to check they could deliberately put stuff on your phone?
Of course they could.
Yeah, but the U2 thing was actually just a cover for a trial.
Yep. Dear. So what else do the EU want to do with people? Oh, they'll make it healthy. They'll work with all EU countries to protect against health threats. Modernise our health systems so that hospitals in every EU country have better access to new technology. Fund training for Europe's medical and healthcare professionals. Together we can make Europe healthier. However, it's not just about big actions. A good diet and regular exercise can go a long way towards improving our physical and mental well-being. Yeah, sure, but that's a personal choice. Just don't whine when you can't fit through the door. Oh fuck, here we go. Make it strong. The pandemic has impacted all our lives. No, pandemic hasn't affected me in the slightest. Totalitarian government overreach, on the other hand. So they want to build a stronger, more resilient Europe. So they'll encourage young people to study science and technology, which open doors to the green and digital jobs of the future, supporting further education and apprenticeships, offering...
the EU doesn't support lesbian dance theory? It wants people to study science.
No, it wants women to study science, not competent
Oh,
people.
they want the men to study feminist dance theory.
No, they want the men to study nothing and just do the garbage collection and sewage, crawling through sewage systems. You know, the dirty, dangerous jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. Now it gets horrendous. Make it equal. From north to south, east to west, we want to build a Europe that works for everyone. What about a Europe for Europeans? We want all Europeans to have equal opportunities, whoever they are and wherever they live. What if they're straight white men? We want to celebrate diversity in all its forms. Yeah, trash. With the next generation EU, we are fighting against racism and xenophobia, promoting gender equality and women's empowerment. Well, there's a contradiction already. You can't promote gender equality and women's empowerment at the same fucking time. Protecting the rights of the LGBTQI+, because of course, and community and combating discrimination. Okay, tell me this, European Union, what rights do the Alphabet Brigade not have? And of course they'll strengthen EU law to cover all forms of hate speech and hate crime. Well, that's fucking terrifying, but completely expected. And Billy Blogs asks, why force women into STEM when they don't like it and are not good at it? Because it's not about what the women want. It's about what the feminists want. Mr. Tucker says you can go for equal rights and women's empowerment at the same time, if women are inferior.
It's actually funny. I recently Sargon about gender quotas, where Sherry Blair and some other people were talking about if we need like quotas and shit for gender. And Sherry Blair is like, you know, if we don't have them, then women aren't fulfilling our destiny. And Sargon just goes off like, destiny! Are you a prophet from God? Did you come down from the mountain with the tablet carved with the Lord's own finger, Sherry? What are you fucking talking about? You hear that, women? Sherry Blair says you have a destiny. But if women have a destiny, then they're not free. That was a beautiful rant.
That is a lovely rant. So the next thing I have is the COVID report from Prison Australia. So, Tokyo Olympics opening ceremony director Kentaro Kobayashi sacked over alleged anti-Semitic jokes made in 1998. Are they going to tell us what he said?
No.
Due to alleged anti-Semitic jokes made during a comedy routine in 1998. Show's composer Keigo Oyamada was forced to resign earlier after footage emerged of interviews in which he admitted bullying disabled children during his school days. And what were his school days, in the fucking 70s?
His school, oh my god.
But of course, no fans and fewer than 1,000 VIPs will be present in the 68,000 capacity Tokyo Olympic Stadium. Oh, and now they're talking about some fucking losers. Well, that's a fucking appalling article. Well, thanks, Sky Sports. You're a bunch of idiots.
But to be fair, any single person that went to school with a disabled person in the 70s is guilty of having bullied a disabled person. I would almost guarantee.
Yeah, and the disabled people are probably tougher for it.
Because virtually every person you ever went to school with, you bullied on one day or the other.
Exactly.
Because children are cunts, and they're mean to each other.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison is utterly stumped when asked about Caitlyn Jenner's quarantine. Sorry, Scott Morrison is stumped live on air after being asked how Caitlyn Jenner was allowed into Australia for Celebrity Big Brother while thousands of Aussies are stranded overseas. I mean, it's a good fucking question, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like one he should have had an answer for.
Yeah, like, you'd think you'd have some bullshit prepared already?
It seems like the sort of thing you might expect to be asked when you've done something that's so obviously egregious.
Yeah.
You might expect to
So
be
what?
called out on it, but
Yeah, should be.
lefties just don't seem to believe that anyone's ever going to call them out.
Exactly. And these guys are apparently Australia's right-wing party.
Ooh.
Yep. Student of history says, I repeat myself, Commonwealth nations have social democrats and communists. In charge, yes. Also, what's the difference between a social democrat and a communist? So, while it's understood that Jenner obtained a special visa, so special treatment, that means she isn't taking a hotel quarantine spot from an Australian, her arrival has nonetheless caused controversy as thousands of citizens remain stranded overseas. As it fucking should.
I mean that's a cope, isn't it? She's not taking a hotel room from an Australian. You know, she's doing Australia a favour by not taking a fucking hotel room that could be used by another Australian.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell.
Because we're only allowed so many people entering the country at a time because we got to quarantine them. But Caitlyn Jenner is special because reasons.
Raisins.
Absolute fucking loser. So he was asked, with the whole nation in lockdown, ScoMo, how did Caitlyn Jenner get in? Asked one of the hosts. There was a long silence before the Prime Minister responded, sorry? Caitlyn Jenner, she's in for Big Brother VIP. How did she get in? He was then asked. He says, oh, that would have been done with the various states, I assume, and working through what is a pretty lengthy exemption process. Sure. That's not something I could give you any specifics on, says the leader of the country. They then proceeded to joke about how they thought someone like Jenner would have had to personally call the Prime Minister to get in. Morrison started at the suggestion an American celebrity received special treatment, then replied, that's taken in other levels. Yep, in hotel quarantine. Her salary is believed to be at least $500,000. Thanks, you bastards. You couldn't have gone to an Australian celebrity and paid them $500,000? Or better yet, burnt everyone involved in Big Brother at the fucking stake? Student of history says, allow me to elaborate for him. Someone's wallets are slightly more full. Based. Yep, so of course, Meghan Markle's brother is being allowed in, while Australians are not allowed to travel overseas, or even interstate. Absolute fucking disgrace. Absolute disgrace. So apparently the Pfizer vaccine is safe for children aged 12 to 15, according to our medical regulator. Sorry, how many people in the world aged between 12 and 15 have died of COVID? I'm going to guess the numbers rapidly, somewhere between 0 and 10. The decision has been made on the basis of short-term efficacy and safety data. Right, so you know nothing about it and you're going to let it in anyway.
It's like there's no historical precedence for these things going terribly wrong or anything, you know.
No. Why would there possibly be an issue with the vaccine by the company that was fined $9 billion for hiding adverse effects and bribing doctors?
I mean, giving it to boys is one thing, but yeah, let's give this, what is essentially still quite an experimental vaccine to a bunch of 12-year-old girls. It definitely won't cause any future fertility problems.
Well, if
Definitely
anything,
not.
the rumours are insisting that it's quite the opposite.
Yeah, it definitely won't be any thalidomide children or anything like that.
No. But on a different note, 2 Australians died from rare blood clotting disorder after receiving first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine. So that's 2 confirmed to have died after receiving the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, compared to how many COVID deaths in Australia this year? 5? 6 maybe? But it's still a rare clotting disorder. Well, it was before the vaccine. Two more Australians have died of a rare blood clotting disorder in the past week. The Therapeutic Goods Administration confirmed in its COVID-19 vaccine weekly safety report, which we will have a look at shortly, that a 44-year-old man from Tasmania and a 48-year-old woman in Victoria had died. So, since the beginning of the vaccine rollout in Australia, a total of 5 deaths from TTS have been reported out of 6.1 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Cool, so just from that one thing, all 5 deaths were related to the first dose of the vaccine, and a 6th death has also been linked to the AstraZeneca vaccine. That's literally as many people have died from COVID this year. Sorry, have died with COVID.
Yeah. Or with antibodies to it. Or anything that looks vaguely like COVID, like a cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, any coronaviruses, like, say, influenza. 2 more, as in there have been others. Yes, Mr. Tucker, there have been at least 6, which is about as many people have died from COVID this year. And who are the people dying of COVID? Well, we'll get to that shortly.
We'll get to that in just 1 second. But
after this quick message from our sponsor.
But first, you can't predict the future, which is why my friends over at Policy Genius can help you find the life insurance policy that works for you. That's policygenius.com/Ben for 20% off.
Yeah. So, total adverse event reports to 18th of July. So there's 4.1 adverse events per 1,000 doses. That's pretty fucking high, actually. So let's see if we can find... So TTS, thrombosis with thrombocytopenia syndrome. Least several deaths. Total of 5 deaths from TTS have been reported out of the 6.1 million deaths. Good. That's really fucking helpful. So that's not count. So that's confirmed cases. And then there's 3 new probable cases as well. So that's 9 possible cases / deaths. So we've had 87 total cases of this massive disorder. Five of which have been fatal. Thanks, guys. Yep, and it is confirmed that a causal relationship of myocarditis and pericarditis is suspected. I've worked with Pfizer to add a warning statement about these adverse effects. Mr. Tucker says that we've had 5 traffic deaths this year, so we're going to have to take all your cars out. It's just too dangerous. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've had that many traffic deaths this week. But at the same time, the Sydney Morning Herald has an opinion piece. Unqualified and dishonest, the experts who undermine confidence in AstraZeneca will cost Australians lives. Sorry, would that be the AstraZeneca that's killed 5 people and is confirmed to have killed 5 people? So, the federal body has confirmed that 5 people have died as a direct result of AstraZeneca, but undermining confidence in AstraZeneca will cost Australians lives. Sorry, no. So, our good friend C.S. Cooper has done a post on the old Rubin Report. So, showing a spreadsheet tracking deaths from COVID in Australia. Nothing for 6 months, and then 6 people died, the youngest in the 50s age bracket. People in this age group die all the time, but Craig, young people are getting it and they're on ventilators. How many? How fat are they? How much do they smoke? Do they have asthma? Do they have lung cancer? How many people per year before 2019 had to go on respirators for regular flu infections? Hate politicians, I'm so fucking tired of it. So let's have a look at the death tracking. So from April to the 17th of July, sorry, the 11th of July, nothing. And then since the 11th of July in New South Wales, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 deaths. So 7 deaths with COVID compared to AstraZeneca, which is confirmed to have killed 5 people and suspected of killing a 6th. But it's lack of confidence in AstraZeneca that's going to kill people. So, and would you like to know what the definition of a national emergency is? 136 new COVID cases and a whole 1 more death.
Yeah. Well, that seems like a national emergency.
Government corruption and terrorism sounds like a national emergency to me. Oh, it's the highest...
Depends how important those 136 people were. I mean, if it's just a couple of fucking, if it's just your sort of random population, then who gives a shit? But if it's 136 elites, then,
Yeah, clearly. That's the highest number of daily new infections in the state since the outbreak of the highly contagious Delta strain. Yeah, so 136.
Indian variant.
Yeah, sure. The Indian variant. It's utterly pathetic. At the same time, though, I still have to wear masks when I'm in public, despite the fact that we've got fuck all cases in Queensland.
I think when they said they weren't going to call it the Indian variant anymore, they should have changed it to curry coof. That I would have preferred.
Yeah.
Not a variant.
Yeah.
Or, amusingly, we could have gone. We're going with the phonetic alphabet for radio, and then just called it the I.
Based. Mr. Tucker says that his risk of COVID death is approximately 0.0003%. His risk of an adverse reaction from a vaccine is approximately 0.003%. By current numbers, the vaccine is literally riskier. Yeah, by a whole order of magnitude.
It was just sort of 8-year-olds that are dying for some reason.
Yeah, well, that spreadsheet, the youngest one was 50.
Yeah. It's just some fucking bullshit.
It is.
I just don't believe it. Who knows anyone? Who knows anyone who's had any serious effects from COVID at
Yeah.
all.
Exactly.
That wasn't that you didn't already know was seriously ill with something else.
Exactly.
It's like,
Like, the people that have died, 90, 70, 80, 90, 50, 80. I'd be willing to bet the one in their 50s was like £300.
yeah. It's like my own mother was like, oh yeah, such and such a friend died. And I was like, yeah. But you're 81? How old was she? She's like, well, 87. And, oh yeah, wait a second. Is that the one who's constantly in hospital for bowel troubles, bowel surgery and stuff? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, fuck off. You know what I mean?
Well, that's it. Like, the average number of complications is like 3.
Yeah, I gotta bounce. I'm not feeling too good.
Yeah, I'm
Looks like
a bit tired. I was thinking we'd probably run a short one today, because I've been needing some sleep. Unless you've got something you want to chat about, Oil.
Paul's got something I want to chat about, but sort of depends on what you think you can get up to.
Probably not anything super fun. I mean, let's be real, my last segment on COVID's probably enough to get us banned.
Well, we can talk about Cuba's exciting capitalist economy.
Yes, the one people
We
are
can have a
fleeing
chat
to
with
Florida from.
No, but Cuba's highly capitalist, which is what people don't understand. I mean, they have an incredibly the primary export is cigars, and the business is run in an incredibly capitalistic model. Like to a point where that wouldn't be acceptable in our capitalist society.
Yeah, that I think that's what happens with a lot of these so-called communist countries. It's capitalist, and then the government just takes.
The government, well, no, because the government owns the cigar business.
Ah, I see.
But the way it's operated in the countries, because obviously they sell the cigars abroad. The way they operate that company in other countries is incredibly capitalistic.
Ah.
Like almost like like a aspirational model of capitalism.
The chat would like to know how invested you are in the Cuban cigar trade.
How invested I am in the Cuban what?
Cigar trade.
Well, personally, like the personal consumption level.
Yeah.
But I have a house in Cuba, if that's what you mean.
Nice.
But anyway, that's by the by.
Are those Cuban cigars all they're cracked up to be?
Absolutely. I mean that's probably where like 90% of my money goes. If I was honest, cigars are my primary vice. Yeah. Well, as I said, like I'm gonna, when we're able to freely move again and go to good places, I'm gonna organize a Lotus Eaters cigar meetup.
I'm actually thinking about trying to organise a small one in Australia in like November-ish. Because Cooper's going to be at one of the big nerd events. And I'm thinking of going, saying hi. And being like, hey, anyone who wants to come along, we might go invade a pub or something, take it over with a bunch of nerds.
Yeah. Get an autographed copy of one of his books.
Well, my plan is to get an autographed copy of all of his books. Hopefully he becomes super famous.
Yeah. Well, that certainly seems like it's possible. I mean, is he a trans exclusionary radical feminist? I mean that seems to be a component of being a best-selling author. So.
Well, he's definitely trans exclusionary. Don't know about the radical feminist part.
think he talks about cricket too much to me. Radical feminist.
Yeah, cricket's kind of guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he doesn't become a super famous author, it won't be through a lack of shilling.
Certainly not.
Yeah, no. Oh, we should have a chat at some point about the Cuban thing though, because it is really interesting, like how they operate. It's almost unreal actually. Well, maybe another day when you're not so tired.
Yeah, we should book something in someday where we all have a chat about it, because there's a lot of fun stuff going on there. It's definitely worth talking about.
Yeah. Or we just call it a day.
Yeah, we might call it a day. Thanks for hanging out, Oil. It's been great, as always.
Goodbye, chat.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, chat. Good luck with the beard, Oil.
Yeah, it's coming.
We will see you all next week. Thank you for hanging out, guys.
See you later.